What is going on, guys? It's your boy Brandon, and today I want to talk to you guys about another Reddit post that Michael Condrey put on the World War II Reddit. He was talking about the double XP weekend and different stuff that he was going to bring to the game. He was talking about different game modes at the launch, game modes post-launch. He was also talked about ground war and 9v9. That was just a few things that he wanted to talk about. It's an interesting read. I want to go ahead and read it to you, but I also want to read you some of the comments as well. But I'll definitely leave a link down in the description below. So if I miss anything, you guys can go read over at that link, see what you guys like about it. Let me know down in the comments below what you want to see coming up in the new DLC that's coming and any other new patches that World War II is going to bring out. So, and I quote, this is Michael Condrey speaking on Reddit. He said, "We hope everyone is having a great time ranking up during the past Double XP weekend, which ended today at 10 a.m. Pacific. Competition is impressive, and it's clear by my KD that any developer head start I once had is now gone. I'm feeling a bit like a Buffalo Bills fan, which lost, by the way. The Bills did lose. Having waited a long time to get back on having an edge, only to have it quickly gone again. Was that too soon? Question mark. He asked. Sorry, Buffalo. As a lifelong Rams fan, I feel your pain, but I digress. Let's get back to the topic at hand. So obviously, Condrey was a Rams fan. Went out to LA. They did good. Lost first round of playoffs. Anyways, he said, here's a few things we want to talk about. He said the game modes at launch, game modes post-launch, ground war, and 9v9. Now, what he says during the game modes at launch, he said a lot of work went into deciding which game modes would be available at launch. Map design, mode, spawns, and competitive balance are all incredibly intertwined factors throughout development. Each map needs to play well and exhibit a fair team balance across many different game modes. It's a huge undertaking, especially when fan expectations are as high as those in the COD community. Imagine the MP designers striving to create compelling maps that work equally well for TDM, Hardpoint, Search and Destroy, Capture the Flag, and many others. Then there's also a very important player fragmentation factor that may not be apparent to everyone. Essentially, a fixed number of players is split up across all game modes. A large number of modes leads to longer lobby wait times or less ideal pings for the less popular game modes, exacerbated by the need to do lobby matchmaking across every region and time zone on the planet. We have also seen that a large number of modes can feel overwhelming or less accessible to players trying to master the game, which hurts players' satisfaction and fan engagement overall. Not to mention the amount of time and energy that goes into bringing great new modes like War to life for each game iteration. In short, more game modes isn't always better, and inevitably we choose to prioritize the most popular and the most compelling while delivering the best experience we can using every development day available. He also goes on to talk about game modes post-launch. He said, now that launch is behind us, we're discussing a ton of really compelling game modes that have been part of the franchise history. While War, Headquarters, and Uplink Gridiron are a few that have been introduced in our games and that we have a lot of heart for, there are many others like Infected that we also love as players. Now I want to hesitate and talk more about that, but he mentioned Infected, so maybe this is one of the new modes that they may add, maybe with the Resistance DLC, so that'll be interesting. He also said we enjoyed seeing fans really stoked for the return of the gun game. We want to continue supporting that excitement throughout the DLC season ahead. So maybe he's hinting at gun game coming back during the DLC. Rest assured, we have a lot of ambition to keep driving hard on game updates and fixes. We're also committed as ever to holding a high quality on new experiences, and won't rush adding a game mode into the game, even if it isn't balanced and fun for World War II. So that's good to know. The next paragraph, he talks about ground war and the 9v9. He said, some of you asked about the outlook for ground war in Call of Duty World War II. The reality is that maps built for balanced flow and good spawns at 6v6 traditionally don't hold up as well for us when playing 9v9, and this was no different for ground game in World War II. We track spawn data for every spawn on every match globally since launch, and are happy to report that our bad spawns are at a franchise historic lows. The same couldn't be said for ground war with 9v9 teams during development. We consider building unique maps for ground war like we built for our war experiences but that just wasn't feasible during development given our other game ambitions for multiplayer. I can't say that Ground War won't come to World War II eventually, but it's nowhere on the horizon given our current roadmap. So it sounds like Ground War may eventually come. Maybe when the game is done with the DLC season, it might be like a last add-on. They might still be spending time developing it. I know during the beta they had it too. It wasn't that great, but it's whatever. He also goes on to say, hope this helps with some context. Please consider it in the spirit of an open dialogue and frank discussion. Your input is important, and even our best laid plans tend to change over time. Right now, we're excited about the Resistance event that is coming up in just a few weeks, and the news that we'll be sharing about it shortly. Okay, back to the game. See you online. Best Condry at SH Games on Twitter. Now, he dropped a little hint there at the end. He talked about, right now we're excited about the Resistance event that is coming up in just a few weeks. If you guys watched my previous video about the big in-game event that is coming here in a few weeks, now we know it's called the Resistance event. So that's good to know. He actually labeled it with a name. So now we know the big game event that is coming, that was just rumors, but now has been clarified, is called the Resistance event. So it's going to be a correlation with the DLC. Hopefully it comes out before the DLC, like a week before, not during. But either way, it'll be cool. I expect them to also have a new collection called the Resistance or something, or Operation Resistance, where we'll get new weapons and new calling cards, emblems, of course pistol grips and emotes along with that. So I'm sure that'll be all in the new DLC. So some of the replies on this Reddit, I'm going to read a couple of them to you. He said, we don't expect spawns to be balanced in 9v9. They aren't even balanced in 6v6. There's another guy called Juke8 said, glad that you guys are now communicating with us. Number one for me would be Ground War. I'm not sure what your idea of whether a map works or not, but I like to have Ground War regardless of whether you think it will cause bad spawns or not. Almost every map already allows you to spawn right next to enemies as long as one isn't deep into the spawn area. And I agree with that. I don't know how many times I've spawned into a game, either in front or behind an enemy, or even beside him, watch him run past me, or I'll end up watching him run past me and I'll have to shoot him. So either way, he has a point. The Narcissist also said, what about a lack of maps and map size? And I'm not even talking about the wide open Gustav. He's talking about how there's only 3 multiplayer maps, a war mode map, and then there's a zombies map too. So a lot of people are feeling that they're getting gypped out of the multiplayer maps in the new DLC, but it's whatever. So alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hit that notification button so you guys never miss an upload. Alright guys, until the next video, I'll see you guys later.